is Jackie, and I'm here with ex-ambassadors, day one of Firefly. Now, I don't expect you to remember, but the last time I spoke to you was way back in 2015 at Bonnaroo, and then Firefly the year before that as well. So this is not our first rodeo together, but welcome back. What are some of the highlights that have gone on since we've talked last? I mean, 2015 to 2019, a lot has happened for you, but if you could pick a moment or two that you think really is special to you.
Well, we put out a new album finally.
Yeah.
It took a little while, but it's finally out, and we're so proud of it. You know, the results of all the time and the work we put into it, I think, really paid off. And yeah, I can't wait for people to be listening to it.
Same here.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope they're listening now because it's out. So you know.
Yeah, it better be.
Yeah, you know, it's been a crazy journey over the last 4 years. We've put a lot of new music out, including this new record and some singles prior to that. We've played. We set up our own festival in our hometown, so brought some love back to our hometown, and have met some incredible musicians who were heroes of ours growing up. Got a chance to play with Tom Morello, which is very cool. Yeah. And started collaborating with some other artists as a production team. We worked with Lizzo on her new record, and we're so proud of the work we did with her. And yeah, Casey's a father now. You know, like life moves on. We're in our 30s now, early 30s. We all just turned. I'm 30. Casey's 32, 31. You know, so it's going through changes, man. It's crazy.
But you're a little older and wiser. And by the way, that latest album is Orion. How is it an evolution since your earlier works? You mentioned that it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a while. We took the past, I'd say, 3 years really to write it, and we've gone through about 2 different iterations of the album before we reached this one. And it was really just, we were just writing whatever came to us, whatever inspired us. And we thought we had the right combination of songs, and then sort of, listening back to it, we realized it wasn't quite right, and went back and retooled it, thought for the second time we had it right, and then, it just still wasn't quite what we felt we needed to release at the time. So we went back and, reworked again, and, only the best songs from the first run-through made it through all the way till the end, and then I think, honestly, all the other songs that have made it on there are some of the strongest material we've ever put out, and yeah, I'm really proud of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like if it's a departure or not from the last record, it's kind of more of just an evolution of us growing as musicians and producers and writers, and just honing that craft, and also just like obviously the music we've been listening to the last 4 years has influenced that a lot. And yeah, and the people we worked with on this record are pretty much all different than the people we worked with on the first one, so that definitely affected the sound, and we collaborated a lot more with a lot of different producers, where we worked mainly with just one on the last record.
And how does it represent you in ways that maybe Joyful couldn't?
Well, I think that Joyful had the album that we were structuring around that was intended more to like kind of show off, because we really wanted to prove something to people with this next record, but it didn't have the right kind of substance to it. And this record, I think, it's a very personal record for us, and we took it to places, I think songwriting wise, that were very vulnerable and not trying to show off, but ended up being like a real display of our abilities as a band.
So when you say it's more personal and more autobiographical, is it cathartic then to play those songs, or is it more challenging?
It's cathartic, and challenging. It's a lot of it is about a close friend of mine who was our guitar player for a while, and he's been struggling with addiction issues, and we recently had to go our separate ways professionally, and it was a real heartbreaking experience, and it was a lot of what this record was about. And we haven't spoken in a while, and this is kind of, at least my attempt lyrically, to try and reach out to someone that I really care about, and so it's hard. It's really hard to play these songs and even just talk about it. But it feels important, and again, it's something that I think we all needed to do, and that I know I certainly needed to say and sing about.
2019 is definitely an era where digital music is very prevalent. Music streaming is sort of very necessary. Why was it important to put out something very cohesive that sends messages versus something that could perhaps, like you said, show off or showcase all of your talents, when you could sort of gear that more towards music streaming?
Casey?
I think there's time enough in a musician's career to show off. I think it's more important to connect, and I think that was the main reason why we wanted to put out a full album, and why we wanted it to be the right album, is that we wanted it to connect with people who are our fans, who already know our music, and hopefully with new people who haven't really known anything maybe other than Renegades. And I think that was the main goal of putting out a body of work, was to really connect people to us and tell our stories in as full a way as possible. And that's why we did it.
And your song Boom is all over radio. So does terrestrial radio still have a place in a time where music streaming seems like it's the only way to access music, even though it isn't?
I think it does. I think especially for a rock band, an alternative act. But it's changing every day, and even though this is a par for the course for our industry, I don't think the three of us really are. We're focused more on what we are creating and putting out in the world, and whatever platforms allow us to do that in a way that we feel benefits the music, benefits the listener, and benefits the listening experience and our fans. Then that's what we're kind of focused on always.
So you're here at a music festival. We've got digital music, we've got radio, we also have music videos. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I feel like if you're going to be an artist, you kind of have to tackle all the different avenues. But you also have a really amazing billboard in Los Angeles. Yeah. Who did that? How did that come about? It is fabulous.
Well, that was something that we started to incorporate Braille into our artwork in this record, again, because we want this record to really kind of be an identity-defining record for us, and show people who we are as people and what's a part of our DNA. So the idea came to me to do some sort of tactile billboard thing, because Casey and I were doing all this back and forth with the Braille, and it was all just purely visual. So for the vinyl, we actually have Braille on the vinyl, right, Case?
Yeah, there's a printed Braille on the vinyl cover and on the booklets inside. And then this billboard is tactile as well. I mean, it sort of struck us as kind of silly. We were doing all this stuff with Braille, and it was all completely non-tactile. So it just made sense that we did it. It was only right.
Yeah, so it'll be up for a little while. You can go. It's on Melrose and Genesee. If you're in Los Angeles, you can go check it out. And you can actually, if you are blind or visually impaired, the Braille is raised up off the wall, so you can feel it and you can actually read it. And we're really, really happy we were able to pull it off and put it together.
So here at Firefly, how do you go about choosing your set list when you have a collection of music that is all over the place, but obviously all from the same band? So how do you create your set list?
We're really right now kind of in that we've literally only played 2 shows of the new record. And so we're figuring out the mix of all the new songs, but we're playing a lot of new stuff and still playing the old songs that people want to hear. But it's kind of the most fun part of this new whole process once you're done with the record is you have this new repertoire of music to play. And with the festival we try to like make it maybe a little more high energy of a set list, but it's usually pretty similar to what we would do at like a headline club show or
So what's up next for y'all after Firefly?
Upstate New York show coming up next, right near our hometown. And then shows in Canada, and man, we're all over the place. We're just we're on the move now. The album's out. We're back on the road, and we're trying to play music for as many people as possible.
Love it. We'll stay tuned for much more from X Ambassadors. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM, The Vinyl, and In the Key of Change.